Well, hello scrappers, Mike here. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to me doing this drudge job of close trimming the fingers on a whole bunch of ram sticks here. But they aren't going to trim themselves. There's nobody here I can push this job off on, so I guess I got to do it. But I was thinking about a little entertainment while I do it. You know what I'm going to do with these ram sticks is I'm going to run them through my George Jr. rotisserie grill over here, and it's going to spin in the basket here and knock all of the ram chips off, okay? And I have videos on this. I'll put a link to one in the upper right. You can check that out. But since I came up with this idea of using the George Jr. rotisserie cooker here as a depopulator for ram chips, other people have gotten on the bandwagon with this, and they're looking around in their thrift shops, you know, Salvation Army, Goodwill, whatever, and they're looking for these because they're just really great for depopulating RAM sticks and other small PC boards. And like I said, other people have glommed onto this idea and run with it, and some are trying new things. SilverStoll, who was one of the first to adopt this and really loved it, has been trying other stuff in it, and I've talked to him a little bit. And he's putting in processors with legs and letting them bounce around in there and letting the heat take the legs off rather than trying to do it with a torch or a hot air gun or whatever. It's much quicker, apparently. I haven't tried it yet. I've only seen his video. I haven't tried it yet, so we're going to try it today. But I asked him, hey, does it get hot enough for the copper tops to come off on these things? And he said he didn't think so. But you know, these copper tops, they're generally gold plated underneath. And well, they're copper too. So, you know, you got a bunch of processors, you got a bunch of copper. You know, and I must have hundreds of you know, Pentium i3, i5, Pentium Duos, whatever, you know, all the old Pentium chips with copper tops on them. And, you know, heating them up, prying them off one at a time is a pain in the butt. So we're going to see if they'll come off in here along with the legs while this thing is spinning. All right. So let me load it up. We'll load all these processors with legs in here. And we'll get this thing spinning. And we'll see how long it takes for all the legs to come off. For one thing, they'll get caught in the grease tray down there. It's pretty hands-off operation. Yeah, you may be able to do it quicker yourself with the heat gun or with a torch and, you know, pliers or whatnot, but suppose you want to do something else. Unless you're really good at doing two things at once, growing a second pair of arms or something. I got all these ram sticks over here I've got to cut. So I'll just watch this thing spin while I'm working, you know, and we'll see how it does it. Now, my George Jr. cooker here runs a lot hotter than stock. I've closed up some heat vents on the back. I've closed up this gap over here at the top of the door. So this thing runs a whole lot hotter than stock. Okay, so I'm hoping that not only will we get the legs off, let me start it up here. There we go, we're spinning. So not only will we get the legs off, but I'm also hoping that, yeah, some of those copper tops will come off of the ones that have copper tops. So I guess we'll see. Let me move the microphone over here so you can hear what's going on in there. Yeah, as it tumbles, they're gonna fall down the sides. There's also got little paddles in there that sort of keep things mixed up and going. So once this gets hot enough that the solder holding those legs on melts, all that jostling around should knock them off. They'll fall through the basket into the grease tray down there, and we should get some legs nice and easy. And I'll just, you know, like I said, totally hands off. I'll be over here working on these ram sticks while this thing's doing its thing. So, to oil the head on my tripod is getting sticky. So, all right, let me get to work while this thing does its thing. All right, I'm taking a break from the drudgery of trimming these ram sticks. I want to see what the temperature is in there. So it's starting to smell hot. I'm getting whiffages of good heat here. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, we're starting to get some legs in the grease tray. Let me put that back in there so we don't lose any of them. All right, let's measure the temperature real quick. Only 165. I'm not sure I'm believing that temperature. 168. I guess that's all it is. So, but we are getting legs in the grease tray. So I'm just going to let it go. It hasn't been running that long, so it's probably not fully up to temperature yet. Yeah, it is certainly starting to smell hot, though. So we'll just let it go and let it continue to heat up and see how much we get. I'll go back to trimming these darn ram sticks because the next job after these is going to be more ram sticks. Okay, just measured the temperature again. 206 in there. It's definitely feeling warm, and there's some pretty good heat coming off of it. So it is getting up to temperature. Oh, this is just, like I keep saying, drudgery. But I'm getting a lot of fingers over here. So those of you thinking out there in the audience that there's soon going to be a video on gold recovery from fingers, you are absolutely right. So watch for that in the not too distant future. All right, so it's just a waiting game. Gotta wait and see how long it takes for this to get up to temperature to really start knocking the legs off. Shouldn't be too much longer. We're above 200 C, so we're getting there. All right, it's been maybe 30 minutes, and I've been making good progress over here. I'm down to the ones I need to take the heat sinks off of before I can do anything else to them. So the rest are all trimmed up, buckets filling up. Let's see what's going on over here. Let me zoom in, and we'll pull a tray out and have a look at what's in it. Oh, I see golden legs in there. Oh, I see a couple of heat spreaders too. So this is getting hot enough for those copper heat spreaders to come off. Sorry about the airplane going over. I live near an airport. You'd be amazed at how many take twos I have to do because of an airplane flying over. But hey, this is working. Those heat spreaders probably came out through the gap in the door. There's a gap here on the hinge side, and there's a gap on the latch side, just big enough for something as skinny as those to fall through. So I'll bet that's what happened. Yeah, here comes the latch side. See the gap there? So hey, cool. We got legs coming off, and we got heat spreaders coming off. So that's great. I'm just going to let this continue to run and take care of some other stuff. It's hands off. I'm over here working on other stuff, and this is literally doing the legwork for me. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, yeah, let me get to work on some other stuff and we'll just let this continue to roll. All right, it's been a few more minutes. Let's take another look inside the drawer here. Oh my, look at all those pins. All those legs. In fact, we even got a whole chip has managed to work its way out through the gap in the door. Now that it's lost its pins, it's skinny enough to come out. So this is working really well. I'm not seeing a whole lot of pins left on the chips in there. I still am seeing some heat spreaders though. So they haven't all popped off. Okay. So maybe we'll just let this run a little while longer and see if they start coming off, because it looks like the legs are just about done. I see a few without heat spreaders. Maybe there's some loose heat spreaders bouncing around in there and I'm just not seeing them. But we'll let this go a little while longer before we stop it and check out what's going on in there. All right, it has been close to an hour. I think I'm going to shut the rotisserie down, and I'm going to open the door, let it cool off some, and we will take a look. It's very windy today, so I put up a piece of wood to try and block the wind. I don't think this thing's getting as hot as it could. And right now the door is jammed, and I don't have my gloves on, so that's, there we go. Maybe. Anyway, yeah, I think it's gotten so hot that something's jammed, but once it cools off, it'll unjam, I'm sure. We'll take a look at what's going on inside. I still see one or two chips in there that still have some legs on them, but there's a whole lot of legs in the tray down here, and there's some, well, you can't really see, let me move that. There's a whole lot of legs down here in the tray, and there's a bunch of them right up here underneath the door that have bounced up. I'll have to brush those into the tray. But I want to see exactly what kind of damage we've done to those chips once they cool down a little bit and I can handle them. So let's let it chill down and take a look. Get all these little pins back in here. And I'll tell you what, some have bounced out through that tiny gap under the door and are on the bench in front of it here. I will sweep them up into a pile and put them in the grease tray when I pull it out. It's been a few minutes, so this is coolish. Okay. We set this aside for the moment. So that's what the tray looks like there. You can see we've got quite a few pins in it. All the pins came off that one. There's a heat spreader that came off. Heavy. Another one. Copper heat spreader. Yep, all the pins came off of that one. So we've got a lot of pins there. That's nice. But let's see what's in the basket still. Let me empty that basket out into a container, and we'll see what's inside. I see at least one chip in there that still has legs on it. Those maybe those are welded or soldered on with a higher temperature solder or something. Okay, let's open this thing up. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so the legs came off of that, but the heat spreader did not. That is still warm, too. Same here. Same here. Legs are gone from that. Heat spreader did not come off. Legs gone. Legs gone. Heat spreader still on. Legs gone. Looks like heat spreader off. Legs gone. Heat spreader still on. Legs, interestingly, legs are still on, but the heat spreader is gone. That's very interesting. But this is a fiber one. And I don't know, maybe the fiber one just isn't getting hot enough or something. I don't know. Here's another one. That's another black fiber one again. The heat spreader came off, but the legs are all still on it. So that's kind of interesting. Here's a completely ceramic chip. And it looks like every single one of its legs is still on there. So I'm not sure why. It's like I said, it's very, very windy today. I don't know if you can tell through the microphone. I think the wind and being outside is just preventing this thing from getting as hot as usual. But okay, so there's one that needs more work. Legs gone, heat spreader still on. Legs gone, legs gone, heat spreader still on. 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 All right, legs gone, heat spreader still on. So, it looks like this works pretty good for everything except fiber. and ceramic chips. So these two fiber chips, we got the heat spreader, but all the legs are still on there. And this one, well, all the legs are still there, and the cap over the center is still there. So we didn't get hot enough to take that off. Okay. But I'll tell you what, there are a lot of gold legs in this tray. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to have to get those bagged up for eventual processing down the road in the future. And yeah, there's a lot of legs there. And put some more processors through this and build up my supply of legs to process and figure out how to get them out of these. So anyway, there's a storm coming, which is one reason why it is so windy out here, and it may be raining here in the next hour or so. So I'm going to wrap it up out here. I was going to throw some of these ram sticks in here and run it for a while, but I think as windy as it is and with the rain coming, I think I'm just going to wrap it up. So next video we do will probably be the close cut fingers, because I'm getting a lot of them. These bags are getting heavy too. So hopefully we'll get a decent amount of gold out of them. So watch for that video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Check out my two other channels, ElectroGeek64 and Mike's Lapidary & Fossils. There's good stuff going on over there too. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye. Well, I am almost done, which is a good thing because I got a heck of a blister forming on my finger down here from working these shears pretty much constantly for the last hour. Next time, I got to remember to wear a glove. Do the Michael Jackson thing and wear a glove on my right hand. Yeah, because that's nasty. But I'm almost done. So we'll have plenty of fingers for the next video where I process them and we get the gold out of them. So I'll see you then. There's your bonus content. Bye.